Hi, boys and girls. Good afternoon. I'm going to read you a book today about, what's this? Pumpkin, right? A big pumpkin. And I have some big ones behind me, too. You have to thank all the parents who helped me get some of these pumpkins. Thank you very much. We're going to do lots of fun things with them over the next few weeks. So I wanted to read a book about pumpkins. This is called Seed Sprout Pumpkin Pie. It's by Jill Esbaum, and she's the author and the illustrator, so she has two jobs in the book. She writes the words and does the pictures. Have you picked your pumpkin? A pumpkin seed is tucked into sun-warmed earth. Spring rains soften its tough coat. And a root, see the root? The root reaches for nutrients. There's the roots going down and the sprouts going up, right? A sprout reaches for the light. Soon, jagged leaves rise from twisty vines, wandering in all directions. Bees visit golden blossoms, spreading pollen from flower to flower. Bees are good. Remember, we really like bees because they help us with all the gardens and the flowers, and they help us with getting us honey. Here and there, tiny green knobs replace wilted flowers. Look right here. So after the flower grows, after the blossom grows, something else starts to grow. What's that? It's a pumpkin, but it's a different kind of pumpkin because it's green, right? That's because it's just starting to grow. And when a pumpkin just starts to grow, it starts out as a green. It doesn't turn orange until a little while later when it's ripe. The knobs change color and slowly swell, growing heavier by the day. See, it's getting bigger and starting to turn colors. Cooler nights arrive and the vines shrivel. Left behind are pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkins. What does pumpkin start with? Let's look right here. There's the word pumpkins with an exclamation point. It means you're supposed to say it really loud. Pumpkins, right? What is this letter right here? P, right? P for pumpkins. The letter P. Pumpkins are a type of squash. They can be green, red, tan, yellow, white, or even blue. The pumpkins we know best, though, are bright orange, right? We usually see pumpkins that are orange. I don't think I've ever seen a blue pumpkin. There are tall pumpkins and short pumpkins, smooth pumpkins, or bumpy pumpkins. Look at that pumpkin. It has knobs all on it, huh? It kind of looks like a gourd. Wee ones, only inches wide, or giant pumpkins you can sit inside. Look at this. They're so big. These pumpkins are so huge that they made a little boat out of them and they're floating. Because pumpkins float. If you put them in the water, if you put a big, huge pumpkin in a lake, it would float. It wouldn't sink. Thump, thump, thump. A pumpkin sounds hollow, but inside is stringy, wet pulp. Can you say pulp? Pulp, that's the inside, the gooey stuff, the slippery stuff with the seeds. Seeds might be safe to grow next year's pumpkins or dried for a crunchy snack. Have you ever tried eating pumpkin seeds? You have to cook them first. They're quite yummy. Pumpkin pulp smells sharp and tangy, but can be made into delicious breads, desserts, and soups. Look, see, they made pumpkin bread or pumpkin pie. I like pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. And you know what? When I carve pumpkins at my house, my dog Rosie loves to eat the inside of a pumpkin. She loves the pulp. Silly, I know. Sugar pumpkins go into the spicy pies we bring to Thanksgiving tables. Unless, was there something else pumpkins might be used for? What else can we use pumpkins for? Oh, what can we use pumpkins for? Jack-o'-lanterns, right? We like jack-o'-lanterns. See them? They carve them. And we're going to carve some of them in our classroom, too. We're going to make them into jack-o'-lanterns ourselves. Will you give yours a funny face or a creepy one to send shivers up your back? Will it be the head of a straw-filled scarecrow? Look at that one. They made him into a scarecrow. Will your jack-o'-lantern decorate your kitchen table among striped gourds and squash? or sunset-colored leaves? Or will it sit by your porch to glow on a spooky Halloween night, lighting the way for curious cat? Unused pumpkins are fed to farm animals or left in the field to nourish the precious soil. So even the pumpkins that are left there help out animals and help out our soil in our gardens to grow, right? So pumpkins are good for many things. Awaiting spring under a wintry blanket, because after fall, the season of winter comes, right? So boys and girls, I want to tell you a couple parts about this pumpkin. This pumpkin has some parts to it that I want to see if you can say some of the words with me. So we know that this is called the stem, right? But it actually also has a fun name that you can call it. It's called a peduncle. Can you say peduncle? Peduncle. That's another word for the stem. So you could tell your parents, hey, that's the peduncle. And then these lines, see all the lines on the pumpkin? All these lines going all the way down, all the way around the pumpkin, they're called the ribs. Can you say ribs? The ribs. And then this orange skin all over the pumpkin is called the rind. Can you say rind? The rind. And inside, we can't see the inside because I haven't opened it up yet, but inside is called the pulp. Can you say pulp? That's the gooey stuff, the pulp and the seeds. And then the very bottom of a pumpkin, there's always a little circle on the very bottom of the pumpkin. See it? That's called the blossom end. That's where the flower used to be. Can you say blossom end? Blossom end. That's that part right there. So now you know some of the parts of a pumpkin. So if you have a pumpkin at home or you see one outside, you can tell the parts of the pumpkin. The peduncle or the stem. The ribs are the lines. The orange skin is the rind. This is the blossom end. And inside is the pulp and the seeds. So next week we're going to do an activity with that. Our life cycle. That's called the life cycle of a pumpkin. Because it starts out as what? See the picture? It starts out as seeds. And then it turns into a sprout. And then the plant. And then the blossom or the flower. And then the green pumpkin forms. And then it turns orange and it's ready to be picked. See how it's in a circle? It's in a circle because it's called the life cycle of a pumpkin. It keeps going. Starts out as a pumpkin and then you plant the seeds and it just keeps going and going. I hope you guys have a great afternoon and maybe you'll get to see a pumpkin soon, or we'll do some activities in our classroom if you don't have them at home next week. Okay? Bye, boys and girls.